Oh. 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 Wait, what? What? Oh. What? Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. 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 I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. 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 Hello, everyone. Season 2, New Boot Goofin'. Just goofing. Just New Boot Goofin'. I'm Goofy Boots. I'm back. 2 weeks. I was gone. Sorry about that. Things are a little bit, chaotic. Things are a little bit, I'm using the NVIDIA green screen here thing, and it's kind of working. See, sometimes the microphone comes in and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it is what it is. Thank you, everybody, checking up on me, wishing me well, reaching out, touching me. Yeah, that's right. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Carrie, there's like a lot to be read there, and I ain't reading that. I'm joking. All right, let's pull up some nice music. Let's start off with some music. Oh, I was missed. Thank you. But let's start off with some music. Some good old music. Am I coming? I used my knob. Shout out to Knobs Dog. I used my knobs, and I don't know if I'm like coming in clear. Like, I'm looking at the audio thing. It sounds like I'm coming in okay. I need to turn it up a little bit. I need to hear that sultry goodness. Ow, motherfucker. Knocked my elbow.
Oh shit. Mofio's in the house. Hey, how do I shout out to Mofio for bringing to my attention the NVIDIA broadcast, which I'm using right now. Am I able to, because like it's cutting off the microphone, it's getting it's a little overzealous. Am I able to like tweak the power of it? I doesn't look like I can, but no, whatever. We got a show to kind of make here. I don't know. Kind of, maybe. I don't really have anything prepared. I'm sorry. Let me pull up some stuff and some things, man. Shout out to Los Tejas Synthesizer for having some of the most high-end background music that really is just being undervalued. All right. So a couple weeks ago, before I started getting into a move, if you will. Oh, hold on. Boom. Cookie reached out, and she wanted to get on my wait list. Sorry, let me turn this down a little bit. Sorry, LTS. I'm gonna step all over this. All right. So she reached out and she wanted to make a she wanted me to make a decorative cup. Actually, I should pull up the picture. There's damn it. It's in my messages. Now I gotta go look for that link. Son of a bitch. There it is. Okay. Sorry, I was at the store all morning, and I don't have a show prepared at all. Carrie, I've been reading that, what you've been writing. I am so sorry you're having to deal with that. Anyway, where is So Carrie, unfortunately, she bought a bunch of these Slime Rancher mugs for her son, who plays this Slime Rancher game, and unfortunately she broke this one. Damn. I'm sorry, Cookie. She reached out. She was like, "Hey, can you do this?" You know. So, you know, if you look on the screen there, it says 3.5 inches tall. Excuse me. 3.5 inches tall, 5.5 inches wide with the handle, and 4 inches diameter. And so if it's got a side profile, so I just printed this up real quick before I tore everything down, and we're gonna be working on this. So hopefully, and I did get a yellow spray paint. It's the Honey Slime Rancher. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. This is my new project right here. We're going to be doing the Honey Slime Rancher. I'm going to need to fill in this gap here. I had to print the handles separate. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. And I printed out the pictures. Cool thing about Microsoft Word is it's got a ruler on the paper. So I printed out the pictures, and so I'm gonna use a stencil to cut out the eyes, and then I'm gonna, paint them on here. So I'm gonna try and make it like as close to this as I can. Unfortunately, mine won't be microwave or dishwasher safe, or even you can't even use this as like a mug to drink like liquids out of. It's completely decorative. Oh, don't worry about it. Mofio, don't even worry about it, man. It's all right. So that's going to be cool. Oh, and the reason she's asking me to replace this is because, as you can see, they're currently unavailable. The company that made these went under or was bought out, and the molds or whatever, they're gone. So that's what we're going to be doing. Going to make a Slime Rancher mug. And then afterwards, I'm super excited. After this one is a friend of the show, friend of Goofy Boots, Miss Slaughter, wants a Jeff the Land Shark. I don't know. From Marvel Rivals. Kind of like what I made for Renee, the glasses holder. She wants Jeff the Land Shark. All right. Okay, so let's pull up. Let's pull up some 3D printing videos and stuff and things. Because I like 3D printing videos and stuff and things. Let's learn about how... Because I'm going to get started on sanding this down and working on this. I forgot where I was on this. Yeah. So I'm going to start working on this, but we're going to watch something together. We're going to watch how Hollywood 3D prints their props and stuff and animatronics and
Hello, I'm Sarah Villarreal and I work
Shut up, bitch. I can't see you. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Jeff the Land Shark is a character on a game that I haven't played yet. Oh. Should probably work on that.
Hello, I'm Sarah Villarreal and I work in the special effects industry here in LA for a company called Studio Gillis.
Did you see the size of that fucking baby? Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck?
We are in a warehouse that primarily builds practical effects. We do a lot of creature design and also a lot of makeups. We do a lot of animatronics, which might be our specialty here. Some of the films that we are most famous for over the years is Tremors, all the Alien films, the Predator films, Jumanji, and Bright, the Maze Runner films, It, Annabelle, Point Break. We did a snake mechanism for the movie Prey. That we have a series of discs in with wires running through it. And as you control and pull, push and pull, you'll get the movement of the snake. We've used that same mechanism in various other creatures. It's called the tentacle mechanism. We have one we get it a lot for like head movements, and if you're doing animal or creature that is sitting and you can't be near it, it really helps add that life back into the creature. We have the mask from Point Break, which was actually...
So she's a fucking idiot, yeah?
Filmed back in the 90s, but some of the things that have been happening over the years is preservation of, movie objects like latex and foam. They don't last very long. So we've been doing scans and prints so that way we could still have, the exact copy, but we know it's going to be more resistant to, any sort of damage. We have a lot of alien pieces on display. This is the alien embryo. This was a concept from the Neil Blomkamp Alien that we had worked on. We have Maze Runner. We have this Goro that was printed. This baby started off as a print. It's for the TV show, the Amazon TV show, I'm a Virgo. We printed many of the items and then molded them. A lot of parts of Cootie were originally printed and then redetailed later.
Sorry, just the absolute size of this fucking baby. I can't even get it, like, just her handling this fucking thing.
This Goro that was printed, this baby started off as a print. It's for the TV show, the Amazon TV show, I'm a Virgo. We printed many of the items and then molded them. A lot of parts of Cootie were originally printed and then redetailed later. This baby, which is in the opening shot of the show, started as a 3D print.
The fact that it can shake and jiggle, like, it's just so fucking it's too much.
And he just has a little bit of movement. And he grew up to be Big Cootie, who all
so
started
you
off
stick
with...
your hand in the puppet and like make it do the that's so they're so fucking creepy.
The hands
animatronic people and like these Hollywood types, they're all creepazoids,
printed and then details. His head the size was printed and gone back, but there's things like his teeth that we printed and added in. And it definitely gave us like a really good base for starting a project, especially something so big. 3D printing makes my life easier. For one thing, we could do rapid prototyping, which before, if you wanted animatronic components to all fit together, we were waiting for somebody to get on the lathe or get on the mill and get those pieces, see if they work, and then start over again repeatedly. And now with designing digitally and rapid prototyping, we're getting to those spaces so much quicker.
Still in like these fucking Walmart bags, so I'm looking for this one fucking thing. Oh, I didn't even grab my water. Fuck. All right. Don't even worry about me. Sorry.
For. We've also
That's
we
not
have
a rack.
a lot of
Nice.
actors or actresses who can't always find the time to come down to the studio, come all the way down to the valley and get life casts done or fittings done. So now that we have 3D scanning and 3D printing, we're able to, from all the different parts of the world, get exact replicas of actors and work from very precise measurements and know that we're gonna have something that works for us every single time. Here we print a lot of different things. Most recently, we've been doing a lot of commercials that are print to paint is what we kind of call the pipeline. Usually a lot of these commercials are done in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So just doing it that way has really saved a lot of time. But we print a lot of mechanics lately. We've switched over from doing fiberglass cores and metal parts to doing mostly all 3D printed heads. And it's been kind of a game changer. It has saved with, again, like the digitally creating stuff, knowing everything fits in the mechanism, but also just weight. You have a lot of creature performers who have to wear something on their head for, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. So trying to make everything as lightweight and comfortable as possible, molded to their faces, has really been quite helpful. This was for a film called Wellwood. It is one of 3 transitional stages of the monster. And this whole underskull was all 3D printed. It was very early on when we started doing a lot of our printing for animatronics, but inside there's PETG servo holders and just a ton of like the whole jaw section is a print and the brackets that hold the eyes, and we really kind of utilized it for the first time with this project and this head. This is Habib. We did it for a music video, and
Sorry. Hey, what's up, Khabib? Khadeed? It's not Khadeed. Habib. Habibi.
print and
Let's look
the
back
brackets
at,
that hold
there he
the
is, right?
eyes. And
He looks like a one of those Saiga animals. Has anybody ever looked up? So the Russians have this weird AK shotgun that they call the Saiga. They named their Russian AK shotgun after this weird animal that has this trunk. It's like a zebra, but it has a
we really kind of utilized it for the first time with this project and this
It looks
head.
like a
This
Saiga.
is Habib. We did it for a music video, and his whole skull and a lot of the components were all 3D printed.
Oh no!
He's kind
is
of
Cad stuck in the in like a red fresh, buddy. He
a
can't hear
rap
me. He can't-
buddy, so he just kind of hung around and caused mischief in the music video. Prey is probably the film we've used the most 3D printing on. We have the net balls, all the weapons.
Hey, we watched Prey, and that was MILF got pissed off at me because I couldn't finish the movie in time. Prey, yeah.
Of course.
The new Yautja movie, the Predator movie, yeah.
So it lights up, and the backpack was a print. We had made a mechanical version of it that actually slides open. And then we have the Prey, the skull
I
mask,
gotta go get some water.
which started as a 3D print. All these side components were 3D printed. The inside as well, which I don't know if they actually show the inside in the movie, but it was a 3D print that we cut in and laid over. So the most common thing is we will print the base structure of something pretty simplistic, and then we will hand it off to a sculptor who goes back and refines some of the details and molds it, and then we cast it up in usually a silicone or a urethane, and it gets painted. If it needs hair, it gets hair work done, and it just kind of moves through all the different departments. There are other times where if it's a smaller budget or if we have a smaller time frame, we're just using a print directly right off the print bed. So a lot of the times we'll take the print, we'll give it a few coats of primer and sand it down and hand it off to paint department who just works their magic. I see the change of the movie industry using printers as like, it's kind of like the clear way everything is headed. I know a lot of people were quite resistant about bringing so much technology into it, like CG and other stuff, but I feel like everybody's been adapting to it, and especially when you're doing bulk items or like mass quantities of stuff. I have seen many shops just, really utilizing printers, and I see the way that people are bringing in actors and other stuff, and that makeup appliance fits. That that armor is going to fit on their body because you're using a print that is their body. In my shop, I use Prusa printers. I have my first printer I bought in 2017. That was my personal first printer. We had been playing with an old RipRap printer that was like a wooden base and bundle of wires, and I just finally couldn't take it, and I ordered the MK2 kit. And I think that's one of the best things I could.
Those girls are crazy. My dogs, sorry.
Could have done for me personally for my career now, because I built that kit and it really taught me a lot about the fundamental, like how a printer works. So since then, I've gotten the MK3, the MK4, and the XL printer. So it's been a whole family of printers. I love the Prusa XL. It's genuinely something that has made me rethink how I go about my job. It kind of opened up this world of possibilities of, I don't have to slice models as much, for one, which everybody loves, right? I also get to use the multi-material, which it's insane. It is just truly just such a game changer for our industry, especially for doing mechanical heads. Well, we recently did a mechanical head that we used ASA, we used PLA, we used nylon, we used PETG. We just went through like TPU, every material. I've also been really into the water soluble filament lately. There's been so many prints in the past, if we're doing especially a mechanical part where we have to split it, which always isn't the best for getting that stability. So having the water soluble filament, I've been getting these like beautiful just like tubes or fasteners, and it's been wonderful. My favorite thing about Prusa printers is just the reliability. I feel like for so long, it was always a nervousness where you don't know if you're going to come into the job and have spaghetti. And if you have a client coming in the next.
Spaghetti is a term that we 3D printer people use for when the part has separated from the printer bed and the printer thinks that it's printing on top of what it previously printed, but it's not there. It's separated from the print bed, and so it's just spewing hot plastic just going, and it looks like spaghetti.
Morning, and you're relying on having a print.
It's a waste. It's a fucking waste when you come back hours later and it's just going and just, oh, that's great.
you can't have those print failures. And I don't worry anymore. I know I'm always going to get the best quality print every time, and it's just dependable. And customer service, if I've ever had an issue, like my mistake usually has immediately, you know, come to my aid and walked me through something, and it's just been a dream.
All right. Thanks, Prusa. Joseph Prusa. Man, I absolutely love what Prusa did to the market for 3D printing. I absolutely love it. Joseph Prusa, though, is a narcissistic fucking, he needs to put his fucking name on everything. My fucking, oh my God, and my favorite color's fucking orange, and everything's got to be fucking orange. Like, oh, settle the fuck down, Joseph. You fucking insane Czechoslovakian fucking nightmare. He's just so overbearing. And he's got this cult of personality now that everyone just loves to suck his dick. And it's like, fuck no. Don't. That he's yes, he did great things for 3D printing community. He's not the motherfucking Steve Jobs of 3D printing. Stop it. Don't fucking, and that's what he wants to fucking everybody to think. Fucking dickhead. He's so up his own ass. Anyway. Oh no, it's muted.
Banana phone. Pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, ping. Banana phone. It's no baloney. It ain't a phony. My cellular.
My Prusa.
Banana phone.
That's never gonna get old. That will never get old. Play that at my funeral. Don't play that. Don't do that. All right. Where's my watch later algorithm? Hold on. Oh, I don't want that one coming up. Sorry, I'm trying to get the right 3D printing. I'm going to do one 3D printing content, one normie content. One 3D printing content, one normie content. So we got to do that. That's what we're going to do. Dead air. Did you guys like that dead air? It's hot. It's totally hot. All right. So now we're on to some normie content here. Let me pull it back up. Britain's Chernobyl disaster. Okay.
This is Windscale Unit 1, a nuclear reactor in the northwest of England. It is also the site of Britain's worst nuclear accident. In 1957, the reactor core began to overheat. Over the following days, the incident at Windscale spiralled out of control, releasing radioactive material across the country, triggering a government cover-up and narrowly avoiding an explosion that threatened to turn the northwest of England into a nuclear wasteland. This is the story of the Windscale accident. It's the morning of October 10th, 1957.
Never heard.
21-year-old plant employee John Harris is travelling into work when he notices something unusual.
I used to go in the morning on the factory bus, as we all did. As you come within about a mile of the plant, you can see those two tall, sort of strange-looking chimneys standing up with a little sort of head on the top.
Windscale began construction in 1947 on the northwest coast of England.
This is Britain's first atomic factory for the production of plutonium at Windscale in Cumberland, now known to scientists and laymen throughout the world.
The atomic age had dawned. Nuclear technology proved to be a powerful source of energy, one that manifested in two distinct forms: the generation of electricity, which could be used to power homes and industries, and the destructive capabilities of atomic weaponry.
Oh, hey,
The facilities at Windscale
we can't let the fucking people have the fucking unlimited resources because they don't have a fucking license for that, right? Right, mate? We don't have any fucking licenses for that fucking uranium, mate. And the fucking Chinese.
Reflected these dual
I absolutely hate that we're just now building a thorium reactor. Like we're actually finally advancing nuclear power, and everyone's like, no, it's fucking dangerous. It's like, well, because you were using 1950s tech on, you know, nobody uses dry fuel for anything ever. Like, we're just now getting to thorium. Like, Jesus Christ.
purposes. There was Calder Hall, a power plant fueled by 4 Magnox nuclear reactors, which generated electricity for the national grid, and the Windscale Piles, 2 units containing graphite-moderated reactors that were used to produce plutonium and tritium for the British atomic bomb project. It was the chimney of Unit 1 that caught John Harris's attention on the morning of October 10th.
The strange thing was somebody said, hey, there's something odd going on, because you could see a very fine drift of sort of pale-coloured smoke just drifting off the top of one of these 400 feet
Oh,
tall
that's too big.
chimneys.
No, I'm gonna unpin.
Harris worked as a researcher at the plant. He understood the inner workings of the reactors.
It's gotta be short and
and knew that
sweet.
the smoke coming from the chimney of Unit 1
Short
was a sign
and
that
sweet.
something had gone very wrong. Windscale represented an early and relatively simple form of reactor design. The reactor core consisted of a massive block of graphite with hundreds of horizontal channels drilled through it. Fuel cartridges, containing a 30cm uranium rod enclosed in a finned aluminium casing, could be pushed through the channels. Here they would emit neutrons that would collide with other fuel rods arrayed around the reactor, triggering a chain reaction that released large amounts of heat and altered the atomic structure of the natural uranium, beginning a transmutation from uranium-238 to unstable uranium-235, and later to plutonium. The fuel rod
Did he do that without a fucking license, mate? Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell, he did that without a fucking license. Fuck, mate.
would eventually be pushed out of the back of the reactor core, falling into an adjacent channel of water where they would be collected and processed to extract plutonium. The reactor could be controlled in several ways. The graphite core functioned as a moderator, slowing neutron emission from the uranium to a manageable level. Control rods, made of boron steel, could be inserted from the top of the stack to absorb neutrons, slowing the reactor or shutting it down altogether. Lastly, the reactor was cooled by two auxiliary fans that would blow cool air through the piles and out via a 400-foot chimney. At the top of the chimney were filters, designed to prevent the emission of radioactive particulates into the environment. These were a controversial feature. John Cockcroft, Britain's chief nuclear scientist, had insisted on the costly installation of the filters as a safety measure. His critics argued they were unnecessary, christening them Cockcroft's follies. Crucially, the chimneys were designed only to ventilate air. At no point would smoke or steam be emitted, except, of course, on the morning of October 10, 1957. The smoke Harris had observed was the direct result of a fatal flaw within the reactor's design, a flaw that would trigger the impending accident. As in 1957, nuclear technology remains a key global issue. To properly understand these kinds of topics affecting our world, it is important to source unbiased news coverage. That's why I use the sponsor of this video, Ground News.
God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Alright.
Unbeknownst to Windscale's engineers at the time of construction, the reactor was affected by a phenomenon known as Wigner energy. When bombarded by neutrons, the atomic structure of graphite can become dislocated, creating a buildup of potential energy called Wigner energy that is liable to be released in a sudden and unpredictable burst of heat. At Windscale, the large graphite core could build up massive amounts of Wigner energy that threatened to destabilize the reactor. To combat this, operators routinely carried out a controlled heating of the reactor core, providing enough vibrational energy to restructure the graphite atoms, thereby triggering the release of latent Wigner energy in the form of heat. This procedure, referred to as annealing, had been used on 8 separate occasions in the plant's history. Each time it had been carried out successfully. At 11:45 a.m. on October 7th, 1957, another routine release of Wigner energy was planned in Unit 1. The operators began the annealing process, removing control rods and heating the reactor up to 250 degrees centigrade. By the morning of October 8th, it was clear that the procedure had not worked as intended. The temperature inside the reactor was supposed to rise steadily. Instead, it was starting to cool, a sign that the latent Wigner energy inside...
I'm sorry, real quick. I just noticed something. This doesn't seem like... It's got like these flat spots that I probably should have designed out of it. And it doesn't seem... I think I need to build up some more on the handle. Yeah. I need to make the handle a little bit more rounded. I need to round out. It's too thin. Anyway, sorry. Back to it. Oh, nope, wrong one. Back to it.
...side was not being released. Operators attempted to repeat the process, restarting the reactor and heating the pile up to 330 degrees. By the following day, this restart appeared to have worked, but now the reactor was heating too quickly, with one specific channel, channel 2053, jumping up to 380 degrees. Operators battled with the reactor, moving control rods in and out in an effort to manage the heat, a process that was likened to trying to steer the Titanic around an iceberg. By 10 p.m. on October the 9th, channel 2053 had reached 412 degrees centigrade. Eventually, the heat sensors melted away entirely. With no way of monitoring the temperature of the reactor, the operators decided to peer within the pile through an inspection hatch. The interior of the reactor, normally the dull grey colour of graphite, had turned a glowing red. Wisps of flame flickered around the edges of the channels. The full magnitude of the situation became apparent. Several cartridges inside the reactor had burst open, and the uranium inside was burning, releasing radioactive particles into the atmosphere. One of those involved, 32-year-old technician Arthur Wilson, later recalled his thoughts at this moment. "Oh dear," he remarked, "now we really are in a pickle." The difficult task of controlling the fire fell to Windscale's deputy manager.
Oh heavens. Oi, we really are in a fucking pickle. Oi. Oh heavens. Oh. heavens. It seems... Oh, phooey and pshaw. I dropped my uranium. I'm sorry. Oh, that's not good, mate. Oh, what you going to do that for? What you going to do that for? A dilly of a pickle. Oh. What? I fucking love you British people. Speaking of which, Cookie, who I'm making this for, she's British. Fucking love you. Love you, Cookie. She's me British mum.
Tom Toohey. Toohey's first instinct was to turn off the auxiliary fans, which had been employed to cool the temperature of the
Toohey.
reactor, but were now fanning the flames inside. With this done, he attempted to create a fire break around the burning area. Workers used scaffolding poles to try and push out the remaining fuel rods, but this proved nearly impossible. The extreme heat was causing the cartridges to expand and deform, lodging them firmly inside the channels. Toohey was now faced with a difficult decision.
See what I'm talking
His last
about?
resort was to use water.
You see what I'm talking about? Like, nobody uses solid fuel. If you're going to make something that runs on any kind of a fuel source, it doesn't matter if it's a nuclear fuel source or if it's just your fucking car. You don't use a solid fuel. There's a reason we don't use coal anymore when we're doing like if your car ran on coal, it's dirty, it's fucked up. You're gonna have to clean it all the fucking time. Every fuel is always, if you want to mix it, you make it in liquid form. This is why you don't do these fucking... Look at the size of this shit that they gotta construct for solid fuel rods. It's so stupid. Anyway, sorry.
To expand and deform, lodging them firmly inside the channels. Toohey was now faced with a difficult decision. His last resort was to use water to combat the fire. However, this would run the risk of causing an explosion within the reactor.
The worry, of course, was if the water produced hydrogen, the whole lot could have gone up. And at that moment, it wasn't a very pleasant situation.
With no other viable options remaining to him, Toohey ultimately...
And I'm sorry, you British people. I fucking love you guys. Oh, heavens. It seems that our nuclear reactor is having a meltdown. Oh! Oh no! The fuck? Well, that's most unfortunate. Harumph. Fucking nuclear meltdown. Oh, I say, we're in a dilly of a pickle. Oh.
decided to take the risk and douse the reactor with water. He attempted to mitigate the production of steam by ordering fire crews to feed hoses into the channels furthest away from the fire, allowing the water to slowly seep into the overheated area. This process began at 9 AM on the morning of October 11th. Toohey and his men nervously awaited the results. By midday, no explosion had occurred, and it was clear that the fire was beginning to die. Firefighters kept pouring water into the reactor for the next 30 hours, by which point the fire had been completely extinguished. Britain's worst nuclear accident was finally over, but its consequences were only just beginning. The Windscale disaster was unprecedented. It was Britain's first nuclear accident, but the government was determined to downplay its severity. It was decided that, in order to avoid panic, the local area, including the nearby town of Seascale, should not be evacuated. Instead, limited safety measures were put into place across the surrounding towns. Children were sent home from school, residents were advised to stay inside and keep their windows and doors closed, while workers at the plant were given respirators to wear.
Fucking- Well, let's not create too much of a scuffle. I know that the Queen would like us to evacuate everybody downwind, but oh heavens, we don't want to create a scuffle. Oh Lord, what would the barristers think? Oh, what would the lords and the barons think if we created a scuffle?
Other measures involved local dairy farms, which were identified as major vehicles for contamination. Cows would graze on irradiated grass, and this would pass into their milk before being consumed by local people. Samples of milk produced in the area on the 12th of October showed elevated levels of the radioactive isotope iodine-131, and the decision was made to order all dairy farms within 2 miles of Windscale to dispose of their produce.
You mean iodine? Oh, you British people. Iodine. Yes. That sounds like one of those, like, those made-up British breakfasts. Yes, every morning my mother would prepare a fresh breakfast of iodine. Yes. With fresh schifferobe scampi, yes. Julian.
Juice, pouring gallons of milk away into local drains and sewers. By Monday, this measure had been extended to an 18-mile area along the coastline, and on October the 15th, as the spread of contamination became better understood, the zone was increased to 200 miles. The farmers were compensated for their loss, with roughly £60,000 paid out by the government to local dairy producers. Outside of the surrounding area, knowledge of the incident at Windscale was limited.
The Atomic Energy Authority have
Kerfuffle, that's
announced
right.
that some
Kerfuffle.
uranium cartridges in the centre of the atomic pile at Windscale became overheated yesterday. At the moment, a northeast wind is blowing across the Windscale factory and is taking any radioactive dust or vapour out to sea.
Meanwhile, the government, in tandem
yes.
with the Atomic Energy Authority,
Everything's
were trying to determine...
Everything's fine. All of the radioactivity is going out to sea, where we fish for... where we have a... where we as British people were fighting over the fucking dirty Icelanders for the God Wars.
And exactly what had caused the incident. An inquiry was ordered, led by William Penny. Penny was a mathematician with a singular pedigree in nuclear physics. He had worked on the Manhattan Project at Los Alamos during the war, and afterwards spearheaded British efforts to acquire atomic weapons. Penny spent 10 days at Windscale interviewing personnel and examining the facility, before releasing his findings on October 26th.
We have come to the conclusion that the primary cause of the accident was the second nuclear heating, which caused the failure of one or more of the fuel element cans. The exposed uranium oxidized and gave further release of heat, which, together with the rising temperatures occasioned by the later Vigna releases, initiated the fire.
Penny's report did not blame the plant operators.
The steps taken to deal with the accident were prompt and efficient and displayed considerable devotion to duty.
Instead, responsibility for the disaster rested on institutional problems at Windscale.
A major technical defect contributing to the accident was the inadequacy of instrumentation for the safe and proper operation of a Vigna release. The absence of an operating manual for Vigna releases must be regarded as a serious defect. Insufficient technical attention has been available to ensure the safe operation of the Windscale piles.
The British Prime Minister, Harold Macmillan, read the report on October 29th. Almost immediately, he recalled all copies from government officials and ordered the printers to destroy their type. A government cover-up was now underway. It was being conducted for two reasons. Firstly, Macmillan feared that the publication of Penny's report would ruin public confidence in nuclear power. More importantly, however, it would jeopardize Britain's nuclear relationship with the United States. In the years since the war, the Americans had been reluctant to share atomic secrets with the British. Macmillan had been trying desperately to persuade the Americans to reverse this position. If they learned about the technical embarrassment of Windscale, Macmillan feared that any chance of nuclear collaboration would be out of the window. Macmillan ultimately decided to address the Windscale accident via a parliamentary white paper, that contained an amended version of Penny's original report. These amendments presented a different interpretation of the accident.
The accident was due partly to faults of judgment by the operating staff, these faults of judgment being themselves attributable to weaknesses of organisation.
The blame was being shifted from faulty infrastructure and dangerous processes to operator error. For those who had risked their lives fighting the fire at Windscale, this official condemnation was a kick in the teeth. One physicist described it as absolutely disgraceful, blaming junior people who had no means of defending themselves. Despite some pushback from plant workers, Macmillan's white paper successfully hushed up the major technical problems that had existed at Windscale. On November 8, 1957, a month after the accident, the British tested their first hydrogen bomb in the Indian Ocean. It was constructed from plutonium and tritium produced in the Windscale reactors. The following year, the US-UK Mutual Defence Agreement was signed, which promised cooperation on the uses of atomic energy between the two countries. From Macmillan's perspective, the entire operation had been a success, but this did not alter the reality of Windscale's radioactive fallout. It was estimated that 12 kilos of uranium had been released from the chimney of Unit 1 during the accident. These emissions included large amounts of radioactive isotopes like xenon-135, iodine-131, and cesium-137. Despite assertions at the time that northeasterly winds had blown this material harmlessly out to sea, the truth was more complicated. The wind had indeed been moving towards the Irish Sea between the 10th and 12th of October, but its direction was reversed at higher altitudes, pushing radioactive particles back across large parts of the English coast. Even the material that did follow a northeasterly path did not disappear altogether. Instead, it moved across the Irish Sea, passing over the Isle of Man and onto Ireland. The Windscale accident had very real health consequences. These were most pronounced in plant workers. 14 operators had been exposed to levels of radiation that exceeded the annual permissible dosage. Some, like Arthur Wilson, the man who peered into the viewing hatch of the reactor, were permanently disabled by the dosage they received. Others, like Deputy Manager Tom Toohey, who lived into his 90s, maintained that they had never been affected by their exposure to radiation. The wider impact of Windscale on public health is complex and difficult to gauge. A report published in 1960 concluded that the effects would be negligible. However, later reappraisals began to grasp the true long-term extent of the accident. A 1988 study estimated an upper limit of 200 cancer cases linked to emissions from Windscale. Similar effects have been detected outside of the UK. In the Irish city of Dundalk in County Louth, one study reported a 12% increase in cancer rates connected to the event. In 2007, on the 50th anniversary of the accident, a report published by the Society for Radiological Protection attributed 250 cases of cancer to radioactive emissions from Windscale, with roughly 100 of these estimated to have been fatal. Despite the medical evidence, the British government has not adopted a programme of financial compensation for those affected by the accident. Although the consequences of the Windscale fire are undeniable, the accident could have been far worse. Cockcroft's Follies, the name given to the filters installed on the top of the Windscale chimneys, blocked roughly 90% of radioactive material from being released into the environment. Without these, emissions would have been an order of magnitude higher, spreading wider contamination and likely triggering the evacuation of the entire local area.
So the guy was super
Another,
smart.
more dangerous scenario would have been an explosion at the site. If this had occurred, as Tom Toohey and his colleagues feared during the dousing of the reactor, the accident at Windscale would have transformed into a major disaster, almost certainly killing workers inside the facility and contaminating a much larger area of the northeast. Fortunately, through the bravery and quick thinking of workers at Windscale, as well as the far-sighted safety measures lobbied for by John Cockcroft, a more serious disaster was averted. The effects of the Windscale accident have since been dwarfed by later nuclear disasters. Chernobyl, for instance, is estimated to have released roughly 2,000 times more iodine-131, while the Fukushima disaster released nearly 1,500 times more xenon-133. Like Chernobyl and Fukushima, Windscale has been subject to a lengthy and expensive clean-up operation. Both reactors were shut down following the accident. The site was renamed Sellafield in 1981 as part of a reorganisation. Since then, contaminated material, fuel cartridges and pieces of machinery have been collected and vitrified in concrete, a process that was not completed until 1999. The chimney above Unit 2 was demolished in 2001. Due to the presence of nuclear materials around Unit 1, its chimney cannot be brought down using normal demolition techniques. Instead, the structure is being painstakingly deconstructed brick by brick. As of 2025, the majority of Unit 1's chimney remains standing, looming over the surrounding area as a stark reminder of the dangerous potential of nuclear energy. or, as one of Windscale's original designers has described it, a monument to our ignorance.
Exactly. It's not dangerous unless you're a fucking idiot with it and you're using 1950s tech. Oh, that one's actually going to be kind of cool. I want to... This one's a good one. We'll watch this one next. How North Korea makes perfect fake money. And it's a trip to see that one, because that one's legit. Like it's really hard to gauge that shit. All right, let's watch this. This guy uses a 3D pen, which is, it's freehand style of what I do, but this guy does really good stuff. So 3D printer, but 3D pen. Oh, I got one of these in the drawer somewhere around here. So he puts a little bit of foam behind all of this. And these are indexing cuts so that he can put all of these pieces together. LTS coming in with some sorry, I'm going to turn this video down. And then we're going to turn this music up. Just because the wah, 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 wah. It's great and all. So anyway, this guy's making a Ferrari 246 GT. And he's setting up a wire mesh frame here. He's giving it a little bit more, just building it up, essentially. He's taking it one step at a time, just doing a little bit more, and eventually he'll fill it in. He'll fill in all these little spots, just like this, little swirlies. And then once it's all solidified, you pop it right out of there, and there you go. You're left with that. We're going to do some grinding. Just smooth it out. Thanks for the save, Lost Tejas synthesizer. Oh, so this is pretty cool. It's smoothing it out pretty good. Ooh. Getting some of that UV action up in there. That's some good shit. Guys, you should pick up a craft. Y'all should pick up a hobby. Pick up a thing that you like doing, that you like getting autistic about. It's worth it. Yeah, smooth that all out. I like his use of just like throwaway plastic, like, you know, fucking all that hard plastic bullshit that you get packaged up. He'll use that shit. Oh, this is here, I'll give you the Momendium. Let's all right, look at that. So it's not just all 3D printing. Like, the guy's also like making some brake light cover shit. That's kind of cool. Oh, and are these the headlights? Oh, that's cool. He's doing the headlights. Yeah. No shit. Did you just see what he just did there? That was cool. The way he just set this all up was amazing. So he got it nice and smoothed out. Uses some nail polish. Put a nice gloss on it. You get some transparent shit. And these lines, they put these lines in the yeah, that was shit hot. That was cool, man. So they put these lines on the headlight covers. They have to do with, I think, cooling and not breaking when they're hot. When they go from hot and cold, it has something to do with the headlights not breaking. I missed all of that. What happened? Oh, was Knobs just... You guys just picking on Knobs again? He does catch a few bands here as well because of his assholiness, but you know, I let people. You know what? He pissed you off, MILF. That's reason enough. Oh, that was cool. Those were the windshield wipers. All right. So he breaks it down. And he goes into it pretty good. Here, let's start getting towards the painting. Whoa, Tamiya brand. How expensive is that? The Tamiya brand paint? How expensive is that? I gotta get me a fucking airbrush. Yeah, no, Knobs, this is a really good, this is a really good channel. I like putting them on. They put me to shame, obviously. I mean, most people do. I'm not like incredibly great at what I do. Oh wow! So he put those little the lug. Oh, that's nice. Very cool. Very cool. He's doing some wet sanding too. That's gonna take a minute to set. All right. Wait, was he using HVAC duct taping to do the chrome? Yeah, he was. I'm sorry, I looked away and I didn't see that. Those headlights. Oh, this was this is a full RC car. Oh, very nice. And they all work. All the lights work. That's fucking awesome. The chrome pieces could definitely look better. The door trim, that's the only thing that I have a problem with. He needs to change his method on that. Yeah, that looks really great. I love it. Oh, he's playing his music. That's pretty cool. You can make your own RC car body. Yeah, and he just printed out sectionals. That's pretty neat. Oh, good.
This is a 3D printed miniature version of...
That fucking Corridor Crew, this fucking guy. I know they did their 3D printed video. We're gonna get off of that. Nope. Nope. We're done with all of that.
This is Windscale Unit 1.
We watched that. Sorry, let me fix all of this. Okay, we just did a 3D printing video. We got 30 minutes left. Wow, we only have 30 minutes left. Kind of went by very fast, huh? Let's see. Oh no, okay. So we're going to do another 3D printing one. Because fuck you, that's why.
Sometimes results in ideas that aren't feasible.
This guy's hilarious.
This is a piece of art titled PlayStation, a wonderful creation by artist On Dang. When I first saw this image a few months ago, my first thought was, huh, that's cool. And my second thought was, wait, I could build that. And the idea has been firmly lodged in my head ever since.
You see it? Some people shouldn't have access to 3D printers because then we just make shit that some people are just gonna go like, wait, what? Huh? Like my when I made the alien snowman with the top hat. Just did that because that was fun.
There's only one way to get it out of here. I need to speed up the course of nature and carcinicize a PS1 myself. And this is our starting point. A cheap beat-up PS1 I got off of eBay. It's certainly seen better days, but with any luck, it's best.
Oh! Oh! Oh my god. So this is a PS1 ONE. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is fucked up.
It's certainly seen better days, but with any luck, its best days are still yet to come. The first step is to combine...
Wait, was that... Hold on. Familiar said that's roach poop. We're going to investigate. Enhance. 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 Come on, I thought we were right there. Is that roach poo? You can see it right there. There's a bunch right there. Jeez, they're all like, why are they doubles?
Are still yet to come. The first step is to combine the shape of the artwork shell with the shape of the PS1.
That's very fucking cool, though.
Into my own 3D model, which is a challenge. See, anytime I say PS1, I'm saying PS1 with ONE, because the original PlayStation was shaped like a box.
Which is technically...
But On's artwork is based on the PS1.
PlayStation, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I don't know why. This is like the third PlayStation. This was PS3.
Model that released later on. And absolutely every surface on the outside of the PS1 is a weird curve. This is curved, this is curved, this is a different curve from this curve, and these curves are not the same as these curves.
Oh, so the reason that he's bringing this up is because modeling something, figuring out the fucking curves of something is so fucking hard with 3D printing. Like there are these swatches that you can print out that will measure their radius gauges. So just to make it easier on 3D printing nerds, we 3D print radius gauges because figuring out curves is like fucking hard.
After a couple of comically wrong attempts, I eventually worked out a shape that's pretty good, but not quite one-to-one with the original artwork. This is because artists often use a technique I call doing whatever looks really cool, which makes things look really cool, but sometimes results in ideas that aren't feasible. I mean, like, really? This guy's hair turns bright yellow when he gets mad? That's not possible. Much like how it's not possible to fit a full-size joystick into a pincer this thin. So the pincers need to be a bit chunkier, as does the entire shell to account for the angled ports on the front. And these inward curves along the edges of the bottom pose one last issue, as, well, that's not going to work. I've got a good compromise here. I can lightly trim the edges of the PS1 motherboard to make room for some less aggressive curves. With a general shape locked in, I can chop it in half and start modeling everything for the top.
He's gonna
It's
shave
almost identical
off
to
the
the top of a PS1, aside from the crab face.
Okay, under no circumstance am I to let any of you think that that is a good idea to do. Don't shave down a motherboard. That's so fucking stupid. You could really fuck your shit.
Face. And that crab face is quite tough to model because of these complex shapes around the eye sockets and tusks? Do crabs have tusks? Maybe they're antennas? I don't really know, but they look cool and are forcing me to think really hard about how to design them. Now, I'm actually not the first person to make a 3D model of the PlayStation. A couple of people have sculpted their own variants of this lovely creature, so why shouldn't I just ask them for their file?
Yeah, that one's perfect right there. What the fuck?
Well, two reasons. First, it's typically pretty poor form to go up to someone and go, "Hey, can I have your art? Give me the files to your art, please." And second, because their models aren't...
Is that what I do? Is that how I do it? It's... I fucking love that. Is this how I do it?
First, it's typically pretty poor form to go up to someone and go, "Hey, can I have your art? Give me the files to your art, please." And second, because their models aren't compatible with my design programs. See, these renders were made in 3D modeling programs like Blender, which is a great choice for sculpting 3D models and making beautiful renders. My expertise is in CAD though, which isn't as good at curves, but is much better for making things that are meant to exist in the real world. The optimal workflow for this project would be to design a dimension frame in CAD, and then sculpt pretty shapes around that with Blender. But Blender is scary, so I'm just going to do my best to get creative and brute force some good enough shapes with CAD this time around. And eventually, I did end up with good enough. The eyes have to be glued into place and featured these odd cutouts in the back to give the disc some clearance, but everything fits, and I think he's looking cute. Recreating all 6 pieces that make up the lid mechanism is time-consuming, but not too difficult. I'll add a couple of metal rods to secure the lid to the top half, because I don't want to recreate this pressure fit. My lid is a bit heavier and not quite as snappy as the PS1's, but I'm satisfied with my crabby recreation. And to ensure I'm on the right track, I've been doing a lot of test prints on my new 3D printer to make sure things look and fit correctly in the real world.
Wow, this guy's serious. And by the looks of it, this was all legit, like, for this project.
This printer is the X1 Carbon from Bambu Lab, who I was happy to have sponsor today's video.
Why can't Bambu Lab Oh, that's right. I talk mad shit on them. You know, I will review any 3D printer that someone sends me. I will review it. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like my review.
I started using this X1C a few months ago, and it has consistently impressed me across the board. This thing is so fast and reliable.
See, this
that
guy
I've been
plays the
printing side
game.
projects and trinkets with it.
This guy plays the game, so they're going to send him one and be like, yeah, sure, review it. Yeah, have it. It's yours. Because he plays the game. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I found no problems with it whatsoever. Okay, I think I need to play the game.
Almost non-stop since I got it a few months ago. I printed this clock on the X1C, I printed these plant pots on the X1C, these vases, this painting, this Connect 4 game, these butterflies, this water bottle holder, and countless tests for past and future projects. The most impressive print I've done so far was this giant 6.5-foot fish. It took a week of non-stop printing for the X1C to create all the individual pieces for it, and it did them perfectly and without complaint. I am also a big fan of this included camera, which has saved several projects from disaster. Instead of waking up to a blob caked into every crevice of the nozzle, I just wake up to a little error message that says, "Hey, something seems wrong. Do you want to cancel this?" No 3D printer is completely idiot-proof, but the X1C has proven to be very idiot-resistant. So if anything I've shown here today looks cool to you, then I'd highly recommend checking out Bambu Labs at the link in the description.
Okay. I did let the ad play. I take a shit on Bambu Labs all the time. I shit on them constantly because they're fucking... Oh, you have to have your shit connected if you want to use this feature bullshit, you know. I obviously I'm going to take offense to that, you know. I'm full on Louis Roastman when it comes to that shit. Like, AI detection is great. Yes, familiar. It can detect when you are printing no-no stuff, which is why I have a problem with Bambu Labs. And yes, they familiar. I did a video about there was an article that came out a while ago that all the fucking 3D printer guys found, and it was about how they're trying to make U.S. law about 3D printers recognizing that if you're trying to make a no-no piece on your 3D printer, I'm on YouTube, yeah, a no-no piece on your 3D printer, that they're making code that will alert the police of you making something that you want to make in your own home. It's fully circumventing the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the 4th and 5th Amendment. They're making that law, and it's a problem. Well, no, so familiar, they reversed course. Originally, it was you have to be hooked up, and then they were like, oh, whoa. I mean, no, we're not trying to piss off the entire market. We're not trying to piss off everybody and kill our fucking market.
Before we move on to designing the bottom half, I do want to trim our PS1 down a little bit.
Pretty quick.
I promised this guy better days, and nothing brings joy quite like an experimental surgery.
So, he's doing a bit. Yeah, Bambu Labs, I think it was like a week afterwards, they were like, oh, we pissed off every, 3D printed glizzy guy. And like all of Twitter, and man, we dragged their fucking Twitter account through the mud for like a fucking week. And then they eventually were like, okay, we'll let you do everything offline. I'm sorry. You could still use, your third-party Clipper software, firmware. We beat the shit out of them. In the space of a week, we were like, no, fuck you.
This isn't going to be anything like the crazy trims I've done for past projects. I just want to lop off the outer edge of the ground plane to make it a bit narrower. I'll also add a...
Oh my god. Hey, familiar, this is what we were talking about, right? How like circuit board manufacturers, they tend to not do this because it's a waste, but holy shit.
Checking out Bambu Labs at the link in the description. Before we move on to designing the bottom half, I do want to trim our PS1 down a little bit. I promised this guy better days, and nothing brings joy quite like an experimental surgery. This isn't going to be anything like the crazy trims I've done for past projects. I just want to lop off the outer edge of the ground plane to make it a bit narrower. I'll also add a couple of beefy ground wires to ensure nothing's struggling, and and thankfully,
And he bricked it.
still works.
Oh, I was hoping. Hey, man, good on you. You didn't brick the. Look at how much. Look at that. Look at how much he was able to cut off. That's insane. Under nowhere else. Under no other circuit board would you cut that amount off and still be like, we're still good. We're still Gucci, bruh. What the fuck?
I'm a little worried that the motherboard may try to regrow the parts I cut off once I transfer in the soul of a real crab, so I'll be taking action as necessary. The bottom half is blessedly simple compared to the top. Just some mounts for the motherboard and disk drive.
This
holes
is
for
what
the
I
I/O on
need to get into Fusion and Blender. I need to figure all this shit out.
the back, and 8 openings for the various limbs of the crab. The one tricky part is figuring out how to mount the controller and memory card ports at an angle. The angle is pretty shallow. I can kinda just solder the ports into place as best I can, and then run short wires for the pins that aren't making good contact anymore. To keep the ports from moving around once installed, I devised a sequence of wedges and screws
little
to hold
wires? Those were the tiniest little fucking gauged wires I've ever seen.
everything into place. This design is good enough to stand strong without any glue, and I'm pretty proud of that. Which means I need to humble myself with something challenging. The controller claws. To be clear, the pincers on my PlayStation are going to be a fully functional PS1 controller. Yes, we can all tell at a glance that this will be an awful feeling controller that nobody is going to want to use for longer than 30 seconds. But if I don't give this design the details it deserves, then who else is going to do it? So
That
let's
does look
start
like a
with the
shitty
big
controller.
claw piece and perform some operations that
No.
would probably make an experienced modeler throw up. Poking all of the controller holes isn't too bad, and these tests prove that it's usable.
I'm holding it like
With
that.
the pincer shape locked in, we can design the other two chunks of the arm. Each segment has a hollow cylinder that fits into the groove of the next piece, and with some slight tweaks, things are at a point where the friction of the plastic keeps the arm nice and posable, even against the force of gravity. This last joint at the end is a ball and socket joint so that the crab can lash out at small children with 360-degree coverage. Now, I typically use PLA filament for just about all of my 3D prints because it's easy to work with, but tight joints like these benefit from a more resilient material like PETG. To get the controller wires to run all the way through each piece of the arm, I'm using what I call the poles and holes system. Each piece of the crab has a pole or two inside of it for wrapping the wires around when the system is at its longest. This way, when the crab bends, the slack should all just go around the pole a bit and not clog up any of the moving mechanisms. You could definitely break this system if you tried hard enough, but I haven't managed to accidentally break it yet, and that's really all I need for a one-off project like this. Now that the
Yeah.
left arm is finished,
I don't know if I would like sell a product like that.
need to painstakingly redesign all of those parts exactly the same way for the other half of the controller. Or I could use the mirror button, flip everything in just a few seconds, and then swap out the D-pad for face buttons. All that's left now are a variety of odds and ends, like the triggers for the crab arms, the 6 little legs around the corners of the console, and a variety of internal mounts and posts to make sure everything fits together. And now this might just be a PlayStation. Now look, if I just spent 80 hours modeling a silly case, then I should probably spend a little more time modding our PS1 to make it into...
I'm sorry. I thought I made it clear. It's a PlayStation, like crustacean. It's spelt like that. It's spelt like crustacean, PlayStation. Anyway.
that best version I promised. There's a lot of different mods out there, so let's start with some potential alternatives to loading legitimate discs. Now, let me make one thing.
Okay. Who else had every single game this guy just fucking ran through? All right, let's go
mods
through it.
out there. So let's start with,
of course, Final Fantasy VII. Of course. Of course.
Some potential alternatives.
Crash Bandicoot Warped. What am I got?
Alternatives to loading legitimate.
Rayman. Fucking love Rayman. I always got I always got freaked out how like you couldn't see his arms and his legs. And were they like magnetically attached to him? You know? And anyway, I like overanalyzed it as a kid. Anyway.
Legitimate discs. Now
and then Team Racing. I had that too.
Now, let me make one thing very clear. Digital piracy is as morally repugnant in my eyes as serial murder, especially if it's for 30-year-old games that can't be purchased anymore. You should spend $100 for that 5-hour gaming experience, because removing that copy from circulation makes it harder for...
Why didn't I hold on to my old games? Oh my god.
The youth to get their grubby hands on the game and fall in love with it. And
They're
gatekeeping...
$100 a piece now? Son of a bitch.
That's what video games is all about.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, if you did want to run backups of your PS1 games from an SD card, there are 2 good ways to do that. Unfortunately for me, one of them would require a very intensive install, and the other mod chip replaces the disk drive entirely. I'm not willing to give the disk drive the axe on this project. Not because I think a disk drive is important for authenticity, or that it's a perfectly reasonable inclusion for my first project that isn't portable, but solely because Rikenzu Plays...
Whoa. Hold the fuck up. Look at these other projects this guy did. I really like the Wii Fit, but like, wouldn't that like the Wii Fit with the screen in it? Wouldn't you just be playing like this all the time, and you'd end up like having like neck issues just because you're you know on the Wii Fit, but you're looking down at it and you're doing like, you just end up having like really shitty like neck issues.
A perfectly reasonable inclusion for my first project that isn't portable, but solely because Rikenzu Plays was very unhappy when I removed the disk drive on my last 8 projects.
Right, Knobs? I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, man, y'all kept around some fucking shitty friends.
Disk drive means we only have one other
welcome
option.
to Shitty Walk.
Going old school. There are a variety of simple and cheap mod chips that bypass the DRM protection on the PS1, so you can use any CDs you please. These mod chips are less than $10, and a stack of 50 discs is like 12, so it's a very budget-friendly option. The one downside to this system is that it does expose my terrible handwriting, so be warned that any mockery in my comment section will be met with appropriate retaliation. Now, you can get around the piracy protections with a custom memory card that has a special image flash to it, but I found this method to be slow and kinda inconsistent compared to the 6-wire mod chip. But that custom memory card will still be very handy. The one I chose to build is called Pico MemCard Plus, which lets us easily swap between 100 different emulated memory cards. It costs less than $15 to assemble this one, which is pretty good considering that official PS1 cards tend to go for around $10. I don't love any of the existing Pico MemCard shells, so I'm going to model a nice beach-themed shell to match the rest of our project. The multi-material AMS system on the X1C lets me print off pieces in multiple colors without ever having to swap the filament by hand. It's a real lifesaver. For my controller solution, I Frankenstein 2 worn-out PS1 controllers into one controller that feels, okay. I also tried out this 8BitDo adapter, which allows you to connect more modern controllers to the PS1, which has been working great. According to Nerds Online, it does add between 10 and 20 milliseconds of input delay, but for now, I'll accept the delay in exchange for a controller that feels better in the hand.
10 to 20 second delay?
Besides, if the delay ever bugs me too much, there's gonna be a hardwired controller built directly into my PlayStation. But I do need a way to toggle the Player 1 controller signals between the crab grips and the normal port on the PS1, because having 2 controllers connected to one slot doesn't make any game console happy. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to split them up with a component called a multiplexer, which can switch several data lines at once when a single physical switch is flipped. I put together a simple circuit board controlled by a little switch on the back of the PS1 to put it into crab mode. I think I'm the first person to install a crab mode switch on a video game console, so I've filed for trademarks in 180 different territories. Crab mode is mine. And you know what? I think we're finally
Okay, all right. Hold on. I gotta commend this guy on his bit. He printed out all of these. Okay, yeah, and then he just wrote crab mode, and he wrote okay. He printed this out, and then like he set this all up to video and say that he was applying for. This is funny. It's the same number. If you look at the patent number, it's the same number.
Code is mine. And you know what? I think we're finally out of mods to do.
He's taping on one that said Oman. For some reason, he's going to get a patent in Oman. I love that. That's fucking great.
Now we need to get every single piece printed out as cleanly as
possible. All right, Knobs Dog brought it up. He mentioned something. Somebody mentioned something. Renee's mentioned it. And we only got so much time.
Banana phone. Pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, ping. Banana phone. It's no baloney. It ain't a phony. My cellular, banana phone. Banana phone. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping. Banana phone. It's no baloney. It ain't a phony. My cellular, banana phone.
Still drying. All right. We're just gonna listen to music until ROTC starts. That's what we're doing. We'll continue this tomorrow. Carlos on the keys. Oh, shit! Shout out to Susie this morning. She reminded me of this song. Bass Slut. Because she's a bass slut. Shout out to Susie.
Bass slut. Big fat hard kick. Bass slut. Bass slut. Dirty low frequencies, I wanna feel inside of me. Big fat hard kick. Oh my god, I want that shit. I'm a hard bass slut. I want the sound, it gets me hot. Play the noise, I can't forget. I want the bass that makes me wet. Dirty low frequencies, I wanna feel inside of me. Big fat hard kick. Oh my god, I want that shit. I'm a hard bass